Okay, now we're gonna do 41 till 45. So at 41, what's the zero of r of x equal 8 over 3 x minus 16, 8 third of x minus 16. So again, what means the zero? The zero means when y equals 0, it's the same as the x-intercept, it's the same as the roots, it's the same as solution. So all these four words mean the same thing. It's when y equals 0 or it's the solution of this equation. So your equation has to be equal to 0. Then you solve for x. Now in this case, we can do it algebraically, or I will tell my student to use the and solve. So in step 1, let's do it algebraically. Algebraically means keep the x by itself. So you add 16 both sides. Or I will tell my student, you know what, move the negative 16 here, it's going to flip the sign. It's going to be positive 16. Then you have 8 third of x equal to 16. Now, I see I have 8 third in the front of the x, so we're going to divide both sides by 8 third. So we're going to divide both sides by 8 third. So the 8 third cancel out. So finally, x equal, just use the math, use a calculator, 16. Okay, let me enable the smart thing. Okay, so 16 divide, so control division. So let's go to calculate. Okay, now 16 divide, parenthesis, divide what? 8 third. 8 third. Enter. So x equal 6. This is algebraically, so you solve for x. So 6, it's C. Okay, if you don't know how to do it algebraically and you're confused, it's very simple to use a calculator. We're going to do the and solve. So menu, 3, algebra, there, 3, then 1. In the and solve, you make sure you put your equation equal to 0. So in this case, control division. So your equation is 8 third of x minus 16 equal to 0. So you're going to put 8 third, kind of, you're going to copy the equation. 8 third of what? So we make sure 8 third of x minus 16 equal, this is the equal sign. When you do the and solve, make sure you write an equation. So equal to 0. Then what we're solving for x, so you do comma x. Enter. It's 6. Either way, algebraically or use the and solve. Now 42. The cost of parking in the garage at the airport is $16. So $16 per day. I'm gonna write all the information. So this is very important information. I tell my student always, please use a highlighter. So we're gonna highlight. Separate parking facility outside of the airport charge 25% less per day to park. Okay, so other companies. So this is the company one in the airport. So this is the airport, and we have outside of the airport. They charge 25% less. Okay, what would be the saving in dollar and cents of the parking for 6 days in the facility outside of the airport instead of the airport? So let's see, what's 25% off? So how much they charge? So let's see what's 25% of 16. So 25% of 16, this is the 25%. of 16. It's 16 divided 4. It's $4. So the outside airport company, they charge $4 less than 16. So how much they charge? They charge $12 per day. This is how much they charge. Now the question, for 6 days, how much money do you save? So let's see how much the airport costs for 6 days. For 6 days, you multiply 16 times 6. How much 16 times 6? So use the calculator. 16 multiply 6 equal to 96. So the airport will charge you $96. The other company outside of the airport, it's $12 times 6. So again, always use a calculator. It's $72. So 6 times 12, it's 72. Now, how much money did you save? So 96 minus 72, how much? 4 and 2, so $24. That's how much you save in 6 days. So you're gonna bubble 24. So bubbling, you have the box on the top, then you have all the number. Make sure you write your number first, so 24. Make sure you bubble the 2, not the 1, so you go to the 2. So this is 1 and 2, you bubble the 2. Make sure here you bubble the 4. And that's it. Now 43. Two functions are given. We have p of x, q of x. So this is the two function. How does the graph p compare to the graph of q? So let's review. If you have a two line 1, y1 equal m1 x plus b1. Line 2, y2 equal m2 x plus b2. So we're going to use this as a review. So m1, the slope of the first line, b1, the y-intercept of the first line. m2, it's the slope of the second line, b2, it's the y-intercept. So we're going to compare all the cases. If you have the same slope, the same y-intercept, so your line will be what we call coinciding, means same line. Coinciding, your line are coinciding, means in the top of each other. Coinciding. Now, if you have the same slope, so your slope are equal, but the b are different. That's not equal, different. So b1, it's not equal to b2. So only the slope are equal. So your line are parallel. They will never intersect. Kind of, I'm giving you a review about all the cases. Now, case 3, if your slope are different, not equal, so your line are intersecting. Intersecting. ing, intersecting. Now, another case we should know. We should know if you have opposite reciprocal slope, means what means opposite reciprocal? So if your slope are opposite, one positive, the other negative, and reciprocal means kind of you flip. So these two lines are perpendicular. Perpendicular. I'm reviewing everything. Means a lot of this information are not even about this question, but just I try to review everything about two line. Now, if M1 is greater than M2, you can conclude, means more, bigger number, you can conclude that the first line steeper than the second line. So the second line less steep than the first line. So the first line Y1 would be steeper than Y2. So this is everything you have to know when you have two lines, how to compare two lines. Now, let's see, how does the graph P compare with the graph of Q? The graph P has a different y-intercept than the graph of Q. Let's see the y-intercept, so this statement is wrong. They have the same y-intercept, not different. The graph of P, it's less steep than the graph of Q. So let's see, 5 8. Let's compare 5/8 and 8/5. If you do it, if you cannot compare the fraction, just convert it to decimal so you can see. But in this case, it's easy to see that 8/5 greater than 5/8. So this represents P, this represents Q. So we know P is less steeper than Q, and Q is more steep than P. We know that. So the graph of P less steeper than the graph of Q. This is true. The graph of P, it's steeper than the graph of Q. No, it's not steeper because the slope is less. The graph of P, it's parallel. They are not parallel because the slope are not equal and the y-intercept are not different. So in this case, the answer is B. And always, when I'm reviewing with you, I'm going to review kind of everything. We are not reviewing for this question. We're reviewing for any question, any possible questions. Now, the graph model A, the area of the square feet in rectangle Porsche with a length of 0.56 W, less than 28 feet with the width W. Okay. So based on the graph, what's the width in feet of the Porsche with the greatest area? So this is the area, and this is the width. So in this case, they said the area in the square feet of rectangle Porsche with the length that it's 0.56 W, less than 28 feet, given in a width of W feet. But this is the graph. You know, if you're going to keep reading this, maybe it's confusion, but we're going to use the graph now. They said when the area is maximum. So this is the area. What means maximum? Means the top means the vertex. So your area will be maximum based in this graph when your area is 350 feet. Now, what is your width? In this case, W. So in this case, when you have 350, your width is 25. Based on the graph, what's the width in feet of the Porsche? But we have to be very careful. What they said, Porsche with the length that it's less than, so this is the area of the rectangle. So really, we don't care about the length. If they ask you for the length, it's going to be a different story. But in this case, the width is 25. But I want to use this kind of, what happens if they ask for the length here? What happens if this question was, what is the length? Could be. If the question, what's the length? Look, what's the length? They said the length is means equal 0.56 W less than 28 feet. Means less than 28 feet means 28 minus point means you take this, you take 28 feet minus 0.56 W. So in this case, you can apply the math, you multiply and use your math. So, but this is extra we're doing, but the question is too simple. They ask for the width. The width is 25. Now, system of equation, always when we have a system of equation, we're going to think about equation 1 and equation 2. In this case, have a highlighter because they did not ask to solve, but they ask which system will be matching the verbal description. So this is what we're going to do. The owner of clothing store buy t-shirt for $C each and sell them for P dollar each. So what we have somebody buying t-shirt and then selling t-shirts. Last month, she bought 600 t-shirts and sold 500 of them, and she make profit of 2,800. Let's see, what means profit in real life? The profit, it's what you sell minus how much you bought for, how much you bought it cost, so how much you sell it for minus how much you bought, and that's your profit equation. So in this case, this is the selling. The selling represent what? Represent P, and the buying represent what? C. So if you want to see the profit in this case, the profit, which letter will be first? It's going to be P minus C. What you bought minus what you said, what you sold minus what you bought. So this is how P has to be in the front. And you're going to subtract the buying price. Now, let's see how many t-shirts she bought. 600 she bought. So she bought 600. So in this case, the first equation, you know what? How much she sold? Let's see how much she sold. She sold 500. So it's going to be 500 P first minus 600 C equal to how much profit? 2,800. So basically in the equation 1, 500 P, we have it right here first. 500 P, we have it right here. So we're going to cross P and C. Now, equation 2. Last month or this month she bought 400 and she sold them all. All means she bought 400 and she sold 400. So what she sold, 400P minus 400C, and she made 2,400. So which equation will have that? You see again, P minus C. So this is 400, 400. Nope. So the answer would be A. I hope you enjoyed this video.